Mr. President, I rise today to honor Military Appreciation Month. This is a time to renew our commitment, our nation's commitment, our individual commitment to those who defended our nation. They defend our freedom. They've done it in the past, they're doing it today, and they will continue to do it into the future. Most importantly, it's a time to say thank you. In Wyoming, our pride in the military runs very deep. This Saturday in Wyoming, there will be a welcome home ceremony. It'll actually be in a number of communities throughout the state. This originally began as a welcome home to Vietnam veterans who were never given the proper welcome home when they came home from the war. This weekend, all Wyoming veterans will be honored and welcomed home. Tens of thousands of service members, veterans, and military families live in Wyoming. Our airmen at F.E. Warren Air Force Base maintain our nation's nuclear deterrent. Our Wyoming National Guard, they are ready to serve, and they're ready to serve at a moment's notice. All of them embody America's spirit. It is a privilege to represent each and every one of them here in the United States Senate. Let me take you back a moment to the changing world happening in 1945, May 8th, 1945. It was Victory in Europe Day, VE Day. On that day, the world celebrated the triumph of liberty over tyranny. That triumph of liberty was paid for by the blood and the bravery of 16 million Americans who served, and one of those was my father. I have his dog tags with me. I carry them whenever I travel overseas, whenever I visit our veterans, and whenever I visit our men and women in uniform. I did it earlier this year in Jordan and in Syria, did it at Thanksgiving in the Middle East, did it last spring in Djibouti, where we had members of our Air National Guard serving there. I also have his prayer book called My Military Missal. These were given out in World War II in the Battle of the Bulge. They used them. On the back was a rosary, the beads printed in there as if in Braille, with a crucifix. And this rosary has been well worn, used by his thumb because he was walking and had it in his pocket on patrol. He signed up 3 days after Pearl Harbor, my father did. He fought through the war, through the bitter cold of the Battle of the Bulge, didn't come home till the war was over. My dad called the men who were in uniform at the time ordinary men with extraordinary courage. Their lessons endure today. Weakness provokes, but strength deters. Here we are 80 years later, and we face a dangerous world. Our enemies are aggressive, menacing, and powerful. Very few of those men who fought in World War II are alive today. Very few. We celebrated the Battle of the Bulge and had ceremonies with those few in Bastogne this past December. They are gone. There is a next generation today and a generation after that. And under the bold leadership of President Trump, our military is rising to meet the challenge that we are facing today. And we are today restoring peace through strength. In 100 days, President Trump and Secretary of Defense Hegseth have made our military stronger and, of course, more respected around the world. Recruiting is soaring. The last month was the best month in almost 40 years. I was in Mills, Wyoming for a pancake breakfast with the Lions Club. On Saturday morning, met two young men who were helping to volunteer serving pancakes. One's going to go to the Naval Academy and one to West Point. The next generation, ready to serve, ready to defend, ready to protect. So what we're seeing today is maintaining military strength at a time where investment is needed, and that's what this Congress is debating, because the greatest generation built the arsenal of democracy, and we carry on that by modernizing our military. Under unified Republican government, America is embracing the new technologies, such as artificial intelligence, to outpace our adversaries. We're rebuilding our industrial base. We're expanding shipbuilding so our Navy remains the world's finest. And boy, what a reputation the Navy SEALs have Mr. President, and your long and distinguished history of service to our nation, now in the Senate, but prior to that in the military, and your wife as well. We're improving the quality of life of service members and their families, because a supported military is a strong military. We're creating an Iron Dome for America so our nation is safe from danger. In all, we are investing more than $150 million in peace through strength. These efforts, backed by bold leadership, equip our military to deal with the life in a dangerous and menacing world. Military strength is not enough. VE Day reminds us that defending freedom also demands moral clarity. That means championing the values of liberty and justice, the values that Americans have always stood for. The Minutemen of Lexington and Concord stood for them. The paratroopers of Normandy stood for them. Wyoming's troops serving around the world today continue to stand for them. I visit with Wyoming troops every year overseas at Thanksgiving. I go wherever they are. It started in 2007, my first year in the Senate, when I visited troops in Iraq, outside of Baghdad, Anbar province. I try to visit every deployment of our National Guard. Just got back from visiting the troops in the Middle East in March. Go for the purpose of thanking them for their service and bringing a little piece of Wyoming today wherever they are in the world. And when you go visit with them, you ask, do you have everything you need? Is there anything we can be helpful? But they want to talk about home. They want to talk about how the hunting was, how the weather is, how the football team has done. They want to talk about their families, which community they were from, and then their mission to make sure that the folks at home are protected so they can return to Wyoming and be with them once again. Those currently deployed overseas are 8 time zones away. You know, you want to make sure they have everything they need, and they do in terms of what they're getting in terms of supplies. They just miss a little bit of home in Wyoming. We are blessed to have these soldiers. We're blessed to have soldiers from all of our states serving like this. People from all different backgrounds come to serve. And today I just want to be here to remember our history and think about the sacrifices that so many continue to make. We honor them by doing what we need to do here to make sure that they are equipped to fight the modern threats that they face. We honor them by uniting as a nation to support them. We honor them by making sure that they have veterans' health care available to them in their communities. Talked to Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins about making sure that the veterans have what they need, and he as a veteran is committed to that. Today we celebrate Military Appreciation Month, so let's thank our heroes who fought for our liberty. Thank them who serve today, thank their families, thank them who sacrificed as you and your family have done. That's the commitment. Because of their courage, America remains safe, it remains free. And with bold leadership that we have today, it will stay that way. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
President.